following program is a SUTV student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Such as Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Dave.
7:30 in the morning beside the Wayne Street Park.
Good evening and welcome to SUTV Evening News. We begin tonight's broadcast with more construction and renovations to campus. The Guerreri Academic Commons opened at the beginning of this semester, leaving Blackwell Library vacant with no public plans for renovation. The university has now released what they plan to do with the historic building. Haley Dick has that story for us tonight.
There was a lot of talk regarding what was going to take the place of what was previously known as Blackwell Library. Blackwell was built 159 years ago in 1957, but due to the expansion of the university, more study space was needed to accommodate the amount of students. After the transition of the library over to what is now the new Guerreri Academic Commons, Academic Advising took the opportunity to move into this space and take a new approach to their program.
As you may or may not know, the advising model is a new model that we're using here at Salisbury University. So when they decided to switch to the professional advising model and hire brand new people for these positions, they decided that it would be really nice to have one centralized location. So if you come here with a question and you're not really sure who could answer your question, every single person of the team is right in the spot. So it worked out nicely when everything from the library moved over to the Academic Commons because there was this space available for all of us to be together.
So the satellite programs basically allow students to go to school where they already are. They don't have to come to campus here very often, if at all. And most of them are also transferring in from a two-year institution like a community college. And we have agreements set up with community colleges in their area so that they complete the first 2 years at the community college and then the second 2 years in one of our satellite programs.
While advising is guaranteed a home in Blackwell, there are parts of the building that are still vacant. For more ideas on what to fill the space with, we asked students what they would like to see installed.
Actually, I would like to see a bigger auditorium in a way. Like, I don't think the one we have inside Holloway Hall is that big right now, so I would like to see like an auditorium hall or something like that, or either the parking lot's fine too, but yeah, something like around that nature, or whatever, yeah.
I think it'd be cool if it was turned into like an on-campus diner of some sorts, like sit down, like wait staff type of thing.
I feel like Blackwell would be good for more freshman dorms or even sophomore dorms. It's just closer to main campus and it's closer to the building, so I feel like they'd be good for dorms.
I think it'd be fun to see like a new academic building. Even like a lot of buildings like the science building are already getting older, so I think it'd be cool to see something brand new and like high tech.
With the varying discussions from the SU community, it will be interesting to see what the Blackwell building will entail in the future. But for now, no definite decisions have been made on what will occupy the empty space aside from academic advising. With SUTV News, I'm Haley Dick reporting.
Thanks, Haley. And we'll be sure to keep you updated with any news that comes on this vacancy. Yesterday, students walking to class noticed political chalking on the sidewalks around campus. Students felt offended by Donald Trump supporters advertising his slogans like "Build That Wall" and "Hillary for Prison." The university released a statement from Student Affairs stating that the university will not govern free speech. The words written in front of dorms and buildings were considered hate speech by the administration. Now elections will be held this Tuesday, and students that aren't registered in Wicomico County are encouraged by PACE to vote via absentee ballot. And last week we gave you updates about the new ChickfilA that's opening this next semester. But one important concern by students and faculty is the values that the chain stands by. We go to Charlie Fern for this story.
The upcoming edition of ChickfilA to Guerreri University Center has many people buzzing with excitement. However, some are concerned about the impact this will have on the LGBTQ community. We asked several SU professors for their thoughts on this.
I think a lot of people know the news from years ago when Chick-fil-A had a more anti-gay stance, and that's no longer the case. And so I don't know that people know more current news, and so that's why we should talk about complex ideas.
How would we feel, again, about having a restaurant on campus whose founder had previously given money in the past to a racist organization, or a organization that supported racial discrimination, or an anti-Semitic organization?
I think that was made a little bit too hastily. There was not enough shared governance within the Salisbury University community to make the decision. Apparently it was done by a handful of people and was never ever discussed by people such as the Staff Senate, the Faculty Senate, and so on.
Some SU students have strong feelings about Chick-fil-A as well.
Chick-fil-A didn't have these political beliefs in this past scandal, then I'm still upset that the university chose to remove a student-run organization. They chose to remove Gull's Nest and put in a corporate business on campus. So I'm not happy that Gull's Nest was displaced.
I wish the administration had told people about this before they decided to go ahead and get this contract. Like, get the students' opinions, because the students are the people who are paying to go to the school, right?
Now that it's confirmed that Chick-fil-A is coming to SU's campus, some of those upset by the situation are looking to move forward.
Is that position right now, I think, of trying to make the best out of the situation and help us all move forward, which is a position I'm trying to take, is what can we do to move forward and to help us as a campus. For those who are going to be alienated or feel some hostility, how can we help them still feel like this is a safe environment?
For SUTV Evening News, this is Charlie Firm reporting.
Thanks, Charlie. And LGBTQ concerns are also a huge issue for SGA Vice President of Diversity, Sierra Sherman. She came into the studio earlier to let us know what problems she sees with our campus and what we can do as students to help influence change. Speaking of the world and other campuses, what are things that are kind of going on in the public eye that you think that Salisbury personally faces, but then also things that we could change on our campus?
As far as diversity and inclusion, my theme for this year as the Vice President of Diversity is that diversity is more than color. It doesn't always have to come down to race. It could be about the differently disabled. It could be about LGBTQA. It could be about sexual assault victims. It could be about anything that's different from the norm. And I definitely think that Salisbury University and the community surrounding the university should definitely get involved with things like promoting rights just for human beings. It doesn't matter what they have or what they are or how they view themselves. Basic human rights should be for everybody, and everybody should be able to experience that. So.
Okay. And what are some things that you have coming up for the rest of the semester that if students want to get involved in these discussions and these events, how could they get involved?
Well, I definitely would like to promote my International Day, which is happening November 19th from 1 to 4 p.m. in the Y Comico Room. It's basically an event where different organizations, multicultural lines and otherwise, are going to have tables set up, and they're going to have display tables with information on a country that they decide to represent, or several countries. I know the African Student Association is doing several countries. So they're going to have food there, and there are going to be performances with Caribbean dancing, African dancing. The Korean Student Association is participating, and then Passion for Fashion is doing a fashion show with like traditional clothing. So I definitely promote that. The testing center is definitely a way to get involved. I know I only have 5 senators, and it's a lot of work to put something like that in here. And I feel like the testing center also goes along with the new advising that's put into Blackwell Library now. So we're trying to put that into place. So if anybody wants to help, they can always contact me.
Okay, perfect. Well, Sierra Sherman, thank you so much for joining us here. Now, that full interview with Sierra Sherman is actually going to be posted onto our YouTube page following this news broadcast tomorrow. Now, we also turn it over to Kenzie Lee for this week's weather. Thank you, Brooke. I'm Kenzie Lee with today's forecast. Today was a nice sunny day. We reached a high of 71 degrees and a low of 58. Humidity was around 85% and the current temperature is 62 degrees. So this is the surface map for tomorrow. As you can see, we've got this cold front sitting off to our west. It's going to make its way into our area over the weekend, but right now we're being dominated by a high pressure system off to our south, which is what gave us really nice clear skies today throughout most of the day. This is the surface map for tomorrow. As you can see, the cold front has made it a little bit closer, but we're still out ahead of it. So ahead of the cold front, we have a really strong southerly wind that's going to bring up really warm air from the south, and that's what's going to give us our extremely high temperatures for tomorrow. We're going to reach a high of around 80 degrees, which is basically unheard of in November. So this is the surface map for Thursday night. As you can see, around 8 p.m., the cold front sitting right on top of us. All this green region is where we're going to have our biggest chance of rain, but it's only about a 20% chance. So throughout most of the day Thursday, it should be partially cloudy, and our chance of rain comes in around 8 p.m. through the rest of the night and into Friday morning. So for the Thursday planner, around 8 a.m. it's going to be partially cloudy, a high of 61 degrees. Around 2 p.m. we're going to reach our actual high of 80 degrees, and the cold front's getting closer, so it's going to be mostly cloudy. And then by 6 p.m. we're going to have our chance of rain, and the temperature is going to have dropped down to about 73 degrees. And for the 5-day forecast, on Thursday, it's going to be partially cloudy. We have our chance of rain on Thursday night. We're going to have a high of 80 degrees and a low of 50. On Friday, it's going to be partially cloudy. We're going to reach a high of 59 and 38. Our temperature is going to have dropped after that cold front moved through. And then Saturday and Sunday and into Monday, we're going to have a high pressure system over our area once again. So we're going to have our nice, clear, sunny skies. We're going to have highs in the upper 50s to low 60s and lows in the upper 30s to mid 40s. Thank you so much, Brooke. Back to you. Thank you, Kenzie. Now, Michelle Keene is going to give us a look inside the Glassblowing studio on campus.
Salisbury University is the only college program in the state of Maryland that offers glassblowing as a major, giving the students on campus a chance to master a challenging and unique skill. I sat down with Professor John Reese and some of his students to discuss the glassblowing department and the talents and opportunities offered through the program.
Well, I think it teaches students a lot of different things. It teaches the benefit of hard work and perseverance in their work. Glassblowing is a very difficult thing to do, and it takes a long time to really acquire the skill to do it. The beginning glassblowing class that I teach, we go through a bunch of skill building exercises to build hand skill. It's the only college in Maryland that you can pursue glass at a college level. And there's less than 50 programs in the U.S. where you can actually earn college credit for blowing glass.
I came in as a photo major, didn't know this existed. This was a completely different world that I didn't know until I took a sculpture class, saw it across the hall, thought it was really interesting, took it as an elective, and then fell in love as soon as I first got in here, and 2 weeks later I changed my major to glass. I think the hands-on approach to it, and it's different. Photos, a lot of sitting behind the computer, and that was kind of getting a little boring to me. So this was good energy and stuff that you could do with your hands, and who wouldn't want to play with fire every day?
Just the community of the glass shop. You know, we always have music playing, we always have people in here, and it's a really good sense of, having always someone there for your back just to help you out whenever you need it.
For SUTV News, I'm Michelle Keene, reporting.
Thanks, Michelle. And that's all we have for this week's show. Tune in next week for more SUTV evening news, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page at Salisbury TV for all of our news content as well as our entertainment. For all of us here at SUTV, I'm Brooke Reese. We'll see you next week.